Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is our third live stream today. 3 live streams, 2 pre-recorded videos, 1 short. You get me? We've been putting the work in, you guys. So big up to every single one of you guys. Please do make sure you guys are liking the video on your way in. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. Every single one of you guys right now, on your way in, hit the like button, subscribe. And I want something else from all of you guys as well. Because today, obviously, as you guys know, we're feasting on 2 different clubs, Arsenal and Manchester City. And I'm going to let you guys decide who we're going to feast on to start with. So what I want from everyone in the chat is no life stories, no paragraphs. Write 1-word answers. Arsenal, or, well, 2-word answers because it's Man City's 2 words. Arsenal or Man City. You have 1 choice and 1 choice only. No paragraphs. Tell me, Arsenal or Man City. Who do you want me to start with? And we will start with them. Joining me first and foremost, he's a winner. He's on the top row just because of his passport. Because the Greek scouser turned up today. You get me? So he's going to be on the top row because he's repping Tsimikas, his countryman. And if he denies the fact that he reps Tsimikas, then he won't be allowed entry into Athens ever again. So, man like Grigs is in the building. How did Grigs, man?
First of all, I'm more popular in Athens than Tsimikas anyway, so please, I'm allowed entry anytime I want. But anyway, big up obviously for having me. It's been a great week. I conquered my enemy, Eric Ten Hag, on Monday morning. That's one thing. And then this weekend, woke up. You know what? The games were an extra hour later today, so I got an extra hour of sleep. I woke up. I saw Arsenal lose, and then I saw Liverpool down and City down. I'm like, the odds of me going 2 for 2, 3 for 3 are very unlikely. So maybe the football gods at least had 2 for 3. And that's what they delivered me today. So before what happens tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Today, I get to be a happy guy. I get to cook the Arsenal panelist. I get to cook the City panelist because he's the biggest gaslighter on planet Earth. And I can't wait, man. It's been an amazing week. United fans haven't been able to say that in a long time. So let's get it.
It is what it is. I hope he's miserable tomorrow. Not on a personal level, only on a club level. And this guy's going to help me make him miserable tomorrow. He's the nerd with the soundboard, you guys. Anyone watching on the replay, guys, always ask who's the nerd with the soundboard. This is the nerd with the soundboard. But we all love him regardless. Shameless fraud. And he's here to be shameless. This is his day to cook. Man like Marshall is in the building. Hey.
Good to be back. Good to be back. Hussam, thanks for having me. Arsenal. No hiding today. No. You thought you were going to break Chelsea's clean sheet record. Not clean sheet record. Goals conceded record. No. We will speak today. But hey, it's a good day. It's a good day to be a neutral in these situations because Man City defeat, Arsenal defeat. Last time I was here, we were previewing the Liverpool game. Hussam, I got to give you credit. You were right. It wasn't a cooking, but it was a good match. It was a fun match to watch. But at the end of the day, you came out victorious. My team did lose earlier this week with our cup team. But at the end of the day, if we win this upcoming match, which we might preview today against Manchester United, we're above Arsenal. Another uncomfortable conversation to have.
The fact that he can say that alone is so rude, honestly.
This is great.
Like, even on a hypothetical, you shouldn't be allowed to say that.
I am salivating at the opportunity, Hussam. I am salivating at the opportunity to rectify football.
Fair enough. Joining us as well, we go to another London club. And people might not know this, but I've known this guy for almost 2 years now. From the Football Wars days, you get me? His best ever cooking was when he cooked a Chelsea fan, Billy Balboa, over who is actually Chelsea's real rival. It was that. I think that was one of the funniest spaces ever. And Billy Balboa don't usually get pressed, but he pressed the fuck out of them that day. He's another guy that has to stop a club going above Arsenal tomorrow in Aston Villa. So you're going to be looking at that. But I'm sure he's happy, smiling ear to ear because of the Arsenal loss earlier on. Durag Diaries is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Man like Jordz. How you doing, Jordz?
Yo. What's good, people? As I said, it's good to be back. It's been a very long time for myself and Hussam. It's been a long while since we've been cooking people on the football worlds, especially the Chelsea fans, the Arsenal fans. It's been a long while, but today it's a good day to come back. As we said, Arsenal cook sesh will be very sweet. The cherries, our Arsenal feasting. We were feasting on cherries just a few weeks ago. On behalf of Arsenal, we'll be doing the same, but on behalf of City tonight as well. So it's a very good night for football. But very good to be back. Everyone, make sure they smash the like button on entry, man. Big up.
Big up, Jordz, Habib, big up. Joining us next, you get me? Yesterday, it's funny because when he did the Premier League show, I asked him, do you think it's going to be a burden if you do tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, it's a bit of a burden, but I'll do it anyway. That is the energy that I love. And this guy is in his shameless bag lately. He's been just a little bit shameless. So I'm wondering what he thinks of today's game, because I actually haven't spoken to him about the game, or I haven't seen him on any stream speaking about the game. So, joining us on the channel is the Arsenal version of Martin, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing, Martin, my brother?
Thank you. I know why you're all here today. It's to cook Arsenal, and I'm glad you're smiling. Look at the pride. Look at the happiness over there. It's actually disgusting. I have a Spurs friend who doesn't actually watch his team play. He just plays Call of Duty during their games. And when Arsenal's playing, he's glued to the screen. He's like giving me updates every 2 seconds on Arteta's contract situation. So that's great.
Big up to you, my guy, Martin. And last but not least, the most shameless Canadian I've met in my whole life. And one of the biggest frauds on this entire platform. I think he wears a hat to act like he's some form of semi-pro tennis player. He's not, guys. He can't play any competitive sport. He has 4 trophies behind him. If only they scored the 4 chances in front of goal they had today, maybe he would have been in a different position. Man like Vator is in the building. Yes. Hi, Vator.
Good dad.
Well, the Canadian is how I like to be referred to. The Canadian. Martin's trying to become a Canadian soon enough. Thanks for having me on the show. I mean, I accepted being on the show before the result of the game, obviously. And regardless of the result, I would always be here. And I'm ready for the conversation because these moments, as you all know, don't happen often. So I'm ready for it.
I love the energy already on the stream. Big up to everyone locked in. Most people did say Arsenal in the chat, so that's where we're going to be starting. And the guys are smiling ear to ear, so we must start with Arsenal. Before we do that, there's 500 people already in here. We haven't even started the stream, guys. 500 people. We aren't even on 200 likes yet. This is a horrible ratio. You're all moving like, how Kai Havertz was moving today. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also don't just subscribe to my channel. All these guys' channels is in the description. I want you to go subscribe to Grigs Talks, go subscribe to Casual FC, subscribe to Durag Diaries, subscribe to Sad's Football Corner. Cheeky plug for Sad, because Martin is on there. And subscribe to Vator Games as well. So all these guys' channels in the description. We always like to help each other here on this football community, because these guys are giving us their time today. So please go subscribe and show them as much love as you show me. And look, before we allow the wolves to eat, sometimes you have to let the gazelle speak. Martin, what the fuck, bro? What happened? What's going on?
I thought I nearly got away with it. With Liverpool losing and City losing, I was like, I might be able to squeeze under the radar here, but obviously, clearly we're number one in everyone's thoughts. There's really nothing. There's no excuses to be had. We ran out of them. The ref was actually really good today. He was talking to players instead of giving yellow cards. There's no crazy decisions. It was just Newcastle being Newcastle. They wouldn't let us play through the middle, and we sucked going around the outside. So it was just a terrible game of football to watch. We didn't have any central creativity. I think if you look at the pass map, it's just like a walk shape, like around the box. There's no passes into the box. I mean, I think possessionally and statistically we weren't too far away, but it was not really a performance to remember at all. And coming off another loss, 2 losses in a row. It's a pretty big gut punch. So to be so far behind, 7 points behind you guys now, and 5 points behind City. A lot of people are already tying the nooses, and they're saying the season's over. It's time to focus on a Carabao or something. I heard someone saying. So panic stations have hit. I'm sure AFTV and Chill's going to be going off, and think Troops is Arteta out. Turkish is having a meltdown.
Okay.
I don't know what Gal's up to, but yeah, fan base. Arsenal fan base.
It's a top 4 race now, though, right? Or at least it's going to be a top 4 race if you don't beat Chelsea, for sure.
Before you go that far, before you talk about top 4, Martin, I can completely understand where you're at. Sometimes you have games, you have days like these where you don't perform very well.
I know you're not talking like that right now, Vator.
Martin,
I know you're not talking like that right now.
Oh my god!
You want to say gaslighter? You see what I say gaslighter? Here you go.
I just said I understand. I understand.
This guy
days
is
like these.
such a
Vader.
Did
I thought you
Vator
were gonna
Games
throw
just
something.
tell an Arsenal fan he understands? Like, you want me to bring up all the clips you've said about Arsenal this whole season? All of a sudden, you want to be understanding, Vator, because you
No,
lost.
let him
We allowed
talk.
you to speak anyway. You're a loser as well, so relax. That's the winners.
I thought he was going to throw a Molotov, but he threw me a life raft. That was very nice of you, Vader. But shock results. Teams that we should be beating, et cetera, et cetera. We've got Inter up and then Chelsea. So there's no time for licking our wounds. I don't know if Odegaard's going to be back for either of those. So it's not looking like anything's going to be too different. We need to really change a lot of what we're doing. It's very predictable. It's very one-paced. And without playing much faster football, we're never going to get through.
It's sad, though, Martin, isn't it? It's sad, though, because you said it right there. Martin Odegaard. It's sad that one player all of a sudden seems to change the whole tide of your season. You're all hanging on Martin Odegaard. Saka, he's a good player. He's your best player, best attacker, but you shut him out of the game, and you see what happens today. Or actually, Martin, you could tell me, is it the lack of creativity or is it Arteta setting you guys up in a manner that isn't really sustainable for what Arsenal are capable of doing?
I don't actually think we're playing like how he wants to play, but other people will say it's like an intentional way of doing it. I think player selection has tied his arms a little bit. We just keep putting like square pegs in round holes, but
I hear it.
whatever it is, it's not working. And I don't know whether it's players or manager or both, but it feels like none of the ideas which we have right now are anything new or special. We're just kind of reaching back into the bag for the same old tricks, and everyone knows what's coming with those. So I'd say
you know what it is, though? I feel like the biggest problem is this is the eventuality of bad planning. This is what happens because in the summer the main problems weren't addressed. When everyone told Arsenal you have an issue in attack last season, the issue, it was papered over the cracks. Not even last season, let's say 2 seasons, I'd say, because the season before last, you had Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka. They all hit numbers that no one ever thought they were going to hit before. And lo and behold, last year, they managed to keep up the numbers. They spread it out across the team. You found a new way to score with set pieces. Saka went to 19 goals, and it all seemed great. But again, we told Arsenal fans and everyone that could see from out, you need a striker. You need someone in attack for when these injuries happen, because everyone has injuries. We all do. No one can sit here and complain about injuries because last season, Tottenham had it, Arsenal, Chelsea had it, Man United, City, everyone has their injuries. But Arsenal went out this summer, sold their 2 attacking backups for Odegaard in Fabio Vieira, ESR, who ESR is flying right now. Let's just say that over in Fulham. He's flying, balling out 100%. Over in London. Just it looks like an absolute horrible move to sell him, because if Arsenal had him right now, I don't think there would be a creative issue, especially in the middle, because you need a player that can pick up the ball from deep and drive through the lines in the middle of the park. That's what you needed today. Someone that can beat that man, potentially Ethan Waneri, but we all know Arteta doesn't want to take the risk. Arteta's not.
Well, we brought him on, but we were already a goal down. At that point, Newcastle were not letting any through the middle. But I agree with you, and I said this in the summer.
These man brought on Zinchenko. You know how desperate you need to be to bring on Zinchenko? I saw Zinchenko and I was like, oh, Arteta's done. This game is done. What is Zinchenko going to do for you?
Well, he was brought on, I guess, to bring more passing, better control, like some kind of incisive passing is what he's actually the only thing he's good at. But it wasn't like there was any defensive issues to worry about there. It's just the usual shit with, I don't think they really know what he wants to do. You got Partey right back. You're bringing on Jorginho late. Like Rice is there, Marino's there. We've got a few too many DMs and stuff. But for me personally, I said that the window was a 5 out of 10. I said it was gross negligence not to sign a striker or some kind of winger. And I also said that it's on their heads. Like there's no defending it. Either it's Edu or Arteta, but they decided that Sterling was going to be enough. And as much as I'd like to swallow that one, a free perfect signing getting paid for by Chelsea, I don't think that one's going to pay off like Havertz.
We all watched that
I
match.
want to say one thing about the
We
Smith
saw a
Rowe
real
thing,
striker
though.
on there.
I do want to say one thing about the Smith Rowe. Even the Arteta outers will say that it was right to get rid of Smith Rowe. I don't think getting rid of Smith Rowe was the problem. I think there is a genuine tactical problem watching Arsenal right now. Arsenal's creativity when Odegaard isn't on the pitch is give it to Saka and start doing prayer. That's literally their team is literally Saka and Inshallah. And there was a reason I was defending Saka earlier on, and I stick by my opinion. I don't blame Saka for that game. Even he created the most dangerous chance of the game. Declan Rice should have scored that. I don't care if you're a DM, centre back, striker, goalkeeper. At least hit the target, bro. Like, I'm not asking you, like, at least make Pope. McAllister had a header, by the way, if you guys watched the Liverpool Brighton game. At least he forced a save from the keeper. Like, at least make the keeper work for it. So that's why I'm not blaming Saka individually for that game. Because here's the thing, I can relate to the pain of Saka. Because I'm in a similar situation with my right winger, where it's like, the light is always on him. Like, everything is always Saka's fault. But why don't we talk about Trossard stinking? Why don't we talk about Havertz stinking? Why don't we talk about Martinelli stinking? And guess what? When Jesus came on, he also stank. So why are we sat here talking like Saka's supposed to dribble? Saka ain't Maradona. We all know this already. He's not going to dribble past 8 players and put it top bins. That's not his fucking game. He created the most dangerous chance of the game. And every time he got the ball in the final third, he was actively attempting to do something. When I'm watching Arsenal, Martinelli stank today. Did not take on his fullback. Did fuck all the whole game.
So bad.
Havertz, he was dealt with by Dan Burn by himself, with all due respect to Dan Burn. And Trossard today in that number 10 role could not get a grip of the football and do anything of note in that entire game. Jesus, the less said about him, the better. And hell, even when young Nwaneri came on, he didn't really do anything. So I'm looking at Saka and I'm going like, you actually created the most dangerous chance of the game. How the fuck am I supposed to blame you? That's my logic regarding defending Saka. And I feel like he's been scapegoated.
You know what Saka is in that attack? You know the meme of the gold trash bag? That's what Saka is right now. He's literally the only good player in that attack right now. Because Kai Havertz, you know what? It's funny who Arsenal played today. Because on the opposite side, the other striker was Alexander Isak. And we've been talking about for the past 12 months how Isak is like, he looks like he's destined for Arsenal. He looks like he's an Arsenal type of player, right? Because of the similarities in some of the gait that he has, like with the Thierry Henry, and he wears the 14 and all that kind of stuff. That's a real striker. The other guy on the other side, that's a con artist. That's what he is. He's a con artist as a number 9. Trossard, he set the number 10 position back another 5 years. You know, he's getting him back. Fuller and Bird, he set it back another 10 years. It's not looking good. That was terrible.
It just shows how rare they are. Like real 10s, they're not there anymore. Even like Odegaard, which everyone's been slating. I'm like in the desert, like looking at an oasis, waiting for him to come back because people didn't appreciate what he did before. And they're going to.
Speaking of Odegaard, any Arsenal fan that 2-3 weeks ago, when Arsenal was still picking up results, said that this team is better with Martin Odegaard, they need to relinquish their Arsenal fan badges right now. They need to relinquish them. They need to give them in. And same with Mikel Arteta, because we're going to talk about Liverpool later and stuff like that. But this manager, he's scared. He's playing like scared. And for the first time, like under Arteta, you always hit this progression. Now you've hit the wall. It looks like progression has stopped. And last year, we all said, you need to win something next year, because if you don't win anything this year, then what is the difference between Mikel Arteta at Arsenal and Mauricio Pochettino at Spurs? What is the difference?
100%.
You haven't won anything. And the thing about sports is there's no guarantees. So every year you finish second.
Final. Do you know what the funniest thing about
trophy,
that is? Yeah, is that Poch literally got to that point in the same season as Arteta did, where he reached the final, and then after that he had a decent summer. They didn't recruit enough to back him in the summer. They brought in Ndombele, Lo Celso, Sessegnon, thought there was enough, and then by October you could see the team was deflated. They wasn't going to give enough this season. That's what's happening to Arsenal right now. People didn't want to spot the signs. They're blaming the referees. It's simple again. It's Arsenal stories. They were trying to sell us stories. VAR, red card this, red card that. You're dropping points in how many games this season? You drop points to Brighton. You drop points to Bournemouth. You've dropped points to Newcastle now. Liverpool. You got Chelsea next. Are you confident of beating Chelsea now? Can you guys have chest about that? Because I don't know. It's looking for Nottingham Forest are above you. This is title challenge in Arsenal. This is their year. Nottingham Forest are above them, guys.
It's European heritage.
Not a better defensive record than them. Arsenal have a worse defensive record than Spurs. What's going
Big
on?
up for us. They're doing well.
This is Saliba and Gabriel. The best.
And by the way, Arsenal have only conceded one more goal than Man United this season. By the way, only conceded one more goal than Man United, and we're the worst team in the world, and we're the worst team in the country. So
But you guys have only scored like
Shout out
8
to
goals or
Hudson.
something. You're on like a deficit
Yeah,
of goals.
we can't score.
Can't really
but
talk. Like I love how Man United fans and Spurs fans have been the loudest, and they're like in the bottom half of the table dealing with their own issues.
Yeah,
and then-
man, all I'm saying is,
Yeah,
if I
they're
win
honest,
tomorrow,
like,
if I win tomorrow, I'm only 4 points off you, and I have a new manager, and we meet.
Oh
in
my
a month's
God.
time.
The fact
month's
that a Man
time-
United fan can even speak to Arsenal is fucking hilarious.
In a
This
month's
is how
time, we
bad
meet. By the
this is,
way, in a
Martin.
month's time, we
This is how
meet. And my
bad
new
this is.
manager has knocked out your gaffer in Europe. By the way, so he knows what it takes to get a result against Mikel Arteta. So
No. We established that that's not actually a win because he won on penalties, and from Man City not accepting their defeat.
I don't do the Vator logic.
I'm
I
not
don't do the
accepting
Vator
that
logic.
defeat. Cameron.
It's football logic.
Vator's logic.
I
also
don't
known
I don't
as
make the
logic.
stats. It's football logic. I don't make up the stats.
No.
Yeah,
If
undefeated
you lose on
in
penalties, it's a
81
draw. It's not a
games.
loss. Yeah, that's
If you lose on
that's
penalties,
logic.
you lose. End of.
Yeah.
You just don't advance. But hey,
Talk to my lawyers. Oh yeah, well,
Don't advance is the definition of you lose. Like a nice one. Though.
I think it's
Big
against UK law. I'm sure it is.
hey, I didn't make up the rules. I just want to point out, with regards to this game, I did watch it because it was the earlier game. I had a lot of time on my hands to kind of dissect this, and Arsenal have always had a tough game versus Newcastle. Like I'm not so surprised or overly critical of the performance because even at quote unquote full strength versus Newcastle, it's been a tough game, and it was controversy last season on why they didn't get the result.
Vader, they had one shot on target. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I'm not going to be overly critical with the fact on the players that obviously you guys all addressed that they're missing on, right? Without Odegaard, they don't look right. With Arteta and how he's been setting them up, especially defensively, a little less courageous offensively, they don't quite look right. But to quote unquote crash it on them, I'm not there yet. And maybe it's because I.
How giddy were you at the end of the game? How giddy were you at the end of the game? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, were you bouncing off the walls excited? Because we had some City fans who were very excited and very loud. Right
Yeah, Martin, that's not me. Listen, the reason why these trophies are behind me is because I know these seasons. This goes to 38 weeks. I'm not.
No,
I'm not
we know why you're not giddy right now. It's because you've got a certain company that you know is going to shut you down. You don't want to get too giddy before Husam he pumps up and he sets it close to that cam. That's what you don't want.
No. I have no problem saying what I got to say. If people want to crash it, it's all fine. But at the same time, as poor as I looked, as the result that I have, you know what's funny? No one's still claiming the league. Everyone's still saying I'm favorites. But we'll talk about that later. The Arsenal game, I think Arteta's got to revamp. He's got to show trust in players that haven't quite delivered for him yet. He's got to say, hey, let me see if you can play for me or not. The same way many Arsenal fans are saying, get this player on the pitch. Switch this up. Get Trossard off. However it is, Arteta should have the confidence to play the 11 that he wants.
You think he's already tried that, though, Vator? Because the
it doesn't look like it, though.
The thing is that I see with the Arsenal team is all the players he's got. He has a squad of about, I'd say, 14 players that he uses his core squad. And they're the only players he can use. He has the players like Trossard, Jesus, and like Jorginho are the fringe players that just get used across certain positions. Trossard can be used in the 10, the left wing, the strike, and they're just used in multiple positions. Outside of that, they don't really have anyone they can rely on. You have Waneri, 16, 17. I think the physicality and him growing into the game, he has to be patient. It is a bit fair why Arteta waits, but outside of that, who can he look for? If we're being honest, like who else can he look at? There is no one, and that's the problem. They had poor planning. They've got to rely on Sterling now. Who's
I will say about the ESR and Evanilson stuff.
Double agent Sterling.
I will say about the ESR and Reece Nelson stuff. Like everyone knows that they're not good enough to get to the level that we need. Even Fabio Vieira. Even if we had them, I don't think they would be performing for us like they are for Fulham, where there's no pressure and they can go and have fun and do whatever they want. This is like, you must win every game. You must perform. You've got 12 minutes on the field. Score us a goal, or you're not going to see more game time. So, I'm glad that we got rid of them in a sense, but we didn't replace them with anyone that was an upgrade on them, except Marino. I think he's done all right, but he's still very agricultural. He hasn't really done anything too creative to give me any sense of he can do a job. As the last creator there. So basically just blindly waiting for Odegaard, looking at Gyökeres stats, like scoring a goal and a half every game, pining at Sesko and Tony and all these guys.
Can I say this real quick? I was actually disappointed not to see Arteta play his strongest midfield and maybe go more traditional defensively. Like why not trust I know everybody was joking about Zinchenko, but why not have Zinchenko at left and then have Timber at right and have more of a traditional back four, but a stronger midfield? Have Partey, have Rice, and Marino. Is there
We did
not that?
Partey, Rice, Marino against might have been Bournemouth, and it wasn't good enough. Well, yeah, we were trying to thug our way through the midfield instead of having any kind of class. And I think he's got an issue with Rice and Marino that he might not be able to play both of those guys. Partey has been one of our best players so far this season, so even though he does a job at right back, having him there is a bit wasted. And you could see it in the second half when we got our foot in the ball a bit more. He was the one kind of doing the fast link-up play. But I think not so much our issue is the forward players, is that we're getting the ball to the forward players in crappy positions when they're under pressure, when they've got no one to pass to, and just saying, here, do your best, without any kind of overlaps, without any kind of support. So there's a fluidity issue, there's a confidence issue, and right now no one's really standing up and saying, I'm him, like there was at Liverpool where Salah stood up and said, give me the ball, I'll sort this problem out so you guys can enjoy your weekend.
Also, Martin, listen, I'm known as a blue shark, right? Past seasons, sharks in the water, we handle business. These piranhas right now, there's a drop of blood in the water. All these piranhas are after you, and I would have to say, despite what the league standing's saying, you don't have to worry about anybody around you, Martin. Arsenal are still the class of the mix. Marshall wants to bring up, is it a battle for top four? I wouldn't go that far. You're better than the rest.
Yes, it is.
You're better than the rest. It's still going to be Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, but I'll let these guys speak.
Vator, they've dropped points in half their games, right? They've dropped points in half their games. And it's not, and two of the three wins are against Leicester and Southampton. So it's not
for being the best center back pairing in the league, they have the same goals against as Chelsea.
Well, speaking of the center back pairing, they look worse the more defensive you get. The more defensive you get, the worse
the league. Guys, what you're seeing is the real Gabriel Magalhaes, by the way.
There's no fear of Aston Villa. There's no fear.
So what happens if Chelsea beats them next week?
We'll be on the show
Vator, you realize
I'll use this because Arsenal fans' whole arguments for the past 3 years have been what
can actually beat United first.
But no, we will. Once we beat this guy, right? We'll be above Arsenal, and then they have to face us at Stamford Bridge.
I love
where
how,
we're going to show them how to actually keep a clean sheet and such.
People don't know how many points they have, but they just know how many of those points they have relative to Arsenal on the table. And
I know how many points I have.
How it is. I don't know what number it is.
I know how many points I have.
We're within 3 of that club.
I always know how many points I have.
Yeah, but Grigs, do you know how many points you have for the season count? You have 2 wins, so it's easy to just add them up. I don't know how many points we have because we won all the games except one, so it's difficult to add them up and stuff. I have to look at the table.
Nottingham Forest, I think, have 18, 19.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest are in third place right now. It's crazy.
I mean,
back to Arsenal though. Does this prove that Odegaard is their most important player, and we've all been bamboozled by the rest?
I don't think.
I still think it's Saka.
Most important player.
I don't think this is down to them missing Odegaard. I generally think this is down to what Martin said about the change in the system. I think it's very clear to see Arteta's been a lot more pragmatic this season. He's been a lot more safe in his substitutions. He doesn't seem to go for the games when there's 20 minutes left. He's looking to, shore up the back line. Calafiori, Marino seem to be his first substitutions at the moment. And it just looks all a bit scared. He doesn't look like he wants to go all out for it like he was last year, because Arsenal were flying last year and they were blowing teams away at this point. They literally, any team they played, they didn't want to play. So
we were struggling at this point last year. We had some issues, Fulham and West Ham and Liverpool and things like that. I will say on Odegaard, I think
he was second in the league.
That was December though.
Do that.
We had some issues around here, but I will say Odegaard is our best creatively. I think he's our most important, but off the ball, out of possession, pressing structures, and whatever formations that Arteta's running, Odegaard's the technical leader on the field. And I think
was he not your captain? Was he not your captain before the injury?
Yeah.
Is there not conversations we had about Rice's performances?
What's that?
Is there not a conversation to be had about Rice's performances? Because I think he's fell off a cliff since last year. He had a poor Euros and then sort of similar to Phil Foden started this season, and he's been very bad. He's not really I mean, he's been getting bullied in some games in midfield, and today was probably one of them where you looked at on the ball, he hasn't been up to it. Whereas last year he
hasn't
was
looked
on
like himself at all this season since the the Euros. I think he said himself when he got one man in the match, he's like, that was my first good game of the season. I think it's been 5 or 6 since then, and it's nothing that he was doing last season. He seems to be doing this season. He would show up for a headed goal, or he would create a chance and out of nowhere just sort of say, take the ball, we're going to score a goal now, I'll do it, or I'll head it out, whatever. But maybe he set a very high bar for himself. It's hard to reach, but he's also being shuffled around. There's talk of him playing centre back, then he's DM, then he's an 8, and then he was the left 8, and then he was the right 8. So I don't know if we can really lock down anything for him right now. He just feels like his partners are always changing, his position's always changing, and you're not going to get the best out of Rice that way. I would stick to him being in front of Saliba and Gabriel. I felt like we had like a kind of a Bermuda Triangle thing going there, but all of our mojo's gone defensively and offensively at the moment. So we need a trip to Dubai. We need to find what Salt Bay's up to and get him to come out to the session.
There you are.
That's crazy.
Big up Salt Bay. The way he fed Arteta last season was crazy, bro. That was a crazy.
And that's
video.
what I was gonna say. They want another man to feed them meat to get a base.
That's crazy. I have a video with the sad edit, but I think the sad edit makes it even better. So might as well play it. Where even is it? I believe my gaffer, the infamous video that Sad put out, and Arteta just eating in the background, bro.
Full screen. Let me see it.
Bro,
say that again with your chest.
I believe my gaffer. He will win this league for me.
And what happens if he doesn't? What happens?
It's this thing for me where he's doing this and
He's like, I can't breathe.
That's the worst part. That's the worst part of that video. It's crazy. So where do Arsenal go from here, guys? Where do Arsenal go from here?
That's a tough one.
I'll let them answer that.
Yeah, because what Jordz says, like, there's a point to it, right? I feel like if I'm Arteta and I'm going into the season thinking I have the best defense, then surely, you want to play a little more pragmatic. And I feel like it started after the Man City game. Maybe Arteta saw like, wow, this really worked really well against City. We nearly got away with it. Let me continue on with this because Gabriel and Saliba, they did really well for me last season. But the problem with that is that it's a combination of the pragmatic football, but you don't have the outlet in Martin Odegaard to give you the attacking part of it. So it's not like Jose back in the day with Chelsea where they had pragmatic football and then they had a brilliant counterattack and creativity up top. You're lacking that creativity. Not saying that Saka can't give you that, but everyone's going to know, just mark Saka out. And what is Gabriel Martinelli going to do? Run into the defender? What is Kai Havertz going to do? Just scratch his head wondering when the header's coming in? It's just, I don't know what they have to do. They just have to pray. They just have to hope, wait, and pray. Unless the only other alternative I can think is that Arteta needs to learn to just take a risk and start playing on Nwaneri and see what he can do in that position. Because you need someone, if you want to play like this, you're going to need someone that can give you some creativity. You can't just defend your way into a win. Like,
I feel like a lot of our creativity last season and the season before came from locking the other opposition team into their box and just recycling the ball over and over again until we got the chances we needed to score, either through set piece or just crosses or whatever. We're not getting in those positions as much anymore this season, where we have dominant football possession. It's too much of a back and forth. And I think we've overstacked with tall brutes in the back, and we've got no tall brutes at the front. We've got midgets to the front and brutes in the back and the middle. So I think we need a better balance there. But
Arsenal are trying two things. Either they want to hug the ball into the back of the net, like they want to score the perfect goal, or they just want to score a set piece. There is no risk-taking whatsoever. Like, I'm like, why is no one attempting? By the way, Nick Pope looks like shit. Am I the only one who really notices this? They didn't even test. They didn't even take a shot from far, nothing. Like, no one got the ball and let me shoot from a distance. Let me make Pope make a save. Like, Pope could have had Shisha for 90% of the game and he would have been good because they just want to kiss the ball into the back of the net. No, but you know what I'm saying, Marshall? Like, every time they start an attack, they want to play the perfect pass left, pass right, and penetrate left, right, center, blah, 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 and then score. Bro, not every goal is scored like this. Sometimes you have to take risk. And when you take risks, sometimes they pay off. But
I think
Arsenal
we're
are
one
not
of the
taking
worst
risks at all.
counter-attacking teams as well. Like when we get a chance, our conversion is probably one of the lowest.
And that's the thing, Martin. I feel like you guys are really over reliant on the set piece goal. And when another club finds out, like, okay, listen, they're really good at set pieces. They're probably going to try to use that as their method of creativity to create something for Havertz in the box or whoever to come in and head the ball. Okay, we're just going to train for that, and we're going to be sure that we're really sure and refined, and we're man marking during set pieces so that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, like
so once that goes away,
really sharpened up on this.
yeah.
I feel like people have been doing too many features on our set pieces and slow motion and shit, and working out where everyone goes. We can't score a set piece anymore.
Draw though. Late in that game, it looked like Trossard was going to sneak one in off the set piece late in that game. But Marshall's right. You guys need another trick. Can't be just relying on the set piece.
I was
One
just going to
throws,
say
I think, was the next step.
When you say where do Arsenal go from it, I think with our Odegaard coming back, I do think like they don't have to worry. I do think no one needs to go over the top. But although we're going to have our fun today and cook them, I think over the next couple of weeks, once Odegaard does come back, you're going to see Arsenal sort of find their feet again. And there's in these games where there is a deadlock, you've got someone that can unlock a pass and play a ball through the middle that no one else is going to be able to. And he's going to unlock defenses. So although I think they've got some tough games over the next 6 weeks, away to Sporting, away to Inter, they've got like Fulham away, they've got United, Chelsea coming up. Like they've got some tough games. I think Arsenal's still going to then I don't think they're going to come out on a good side, but they're not going to come out on a bad side. They're going to find their way through it.
They're going to come out with a broken arm and a twisted ankle.
Yeah, something like that. But they're going to come out through it.
They got to at least, because this is the thing, Daddy Cronky's got to open up his wallet. They got to at least make it until January, and you need to get another attacking player that is not Raheem Sterling and it's not whoever. They have to because they have misspent.
Marshall, why is every solution spend more, get more players? Why is that the Chelsea model?
It's not about it's not about how much you
I
spend.
know that ain't what I think it is. Talking about why is the solution spend more when you support Manchester City? Absolutely.
The new Man City doesn't spend money. They're frugal. They're like City became this big club just by players through the academy. It was Mika Richards brought them the success and shit. Can you have some shame? Stop it.
Hey, Hussam, you weren't the only one with the profit this summer transfer window, so let's relax on that, all right? We don't spend the way we used to back in the day. But again, Marshall's always quick to say, go out and get more players, go out and buy. I just had to call him out on it.
But this is the most
listen, they're not Chelsea, all right?
Squad you'll see
they do need to
for a while. Like I think everyone knows, like Liverpool needs a DM, Arsenal needs a striker. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got Calafiori, and I'm scratching my head thinking you have Timber. Wow, okay, I mean, if you want to get Calafiori, but you needed an attacker.
Yeah, I think we needed all of them.
All right, if you say so.
Big up to my guy, Luke Skywalker, who says, hit the likes, you frauds. Yes, sir. Make sure you guys are all hitting the like button. We have almost 800 people locked in. We ain't even on 200 likes yet. That's a shit performance, chat. We actually are on 200 likes. I take that back. We aren't even on 300 likes yet. That's a shit performance, regardless. Chat. Let's get the likes up and subscribe to the channel right now, Habibis. You get me? Everyone hit the like button. Everyone subscribe. Big up to my guy, Luke. Big up to Az, who says, oh, these fucking Chelsea fans make everything about them. It's so jarring. It's actually... Anytime there's some random fucking Chelsea player on loan, he's the reason why the other team lost. It's every fucking time. Proper Chelsea. Livramento and Lewis Hall were good today.
Livramento wasn't even that good.
I don't know why the hell Lewis Hall got man of the match. He doesn't deserve it, by the way. I thought one of the Newcastle midfielders would have got it. Bruno Guimaraes is who I would have said was man of the match. I don't know why the fuck they gave it to Lewis Hall, but that's that Chelsea PR. Probably Todd Bowley bought it before.
Hey, moral victory. They actually gave a yellow card for time wasting to Shah, and Jorginho got to elbow Bruno Guimaraes back in the head off the play. So there was some some big wins on the field, even if we lost the points.
You really got to dig.
Big up to Emeko says, how are your title favorites doing, Hussam? Hey, my title favorites are not doing well right now. Breaking news, guy makes prediction and prediction comes out to be wrong, just like your prediction that we're going to beat Arsenal at the Emirates, and you were wrong about that. Big up, though. Big up to Todd, who says, I can watch angry Arsenal fan videos for days. Say that last one there.
Don't go blind. Take a break every now and
again. Up to Chelsea.
Yes. Big up to you, Todd. Oh my God, this is Todd from the Back Again podcast community. Big up to you, Todd. Appreciate you locking in, my brother. Thank you so much. Hey, enjoy watching. Troops has been having a meltdown for the last 24 hours. He called me when I was doing a pre-recorded stream. Called me. He started speaking to me. He's like, get him out, blood. Get him out. Big up to you, man. Big up to Mr. Happy, who says Arteta has made Chelsea his little bro. Ooh, that's not a problem for us. Haven't beaten us at the bridge since 2017. Focus on Villa. You're not on our level.
I said your home is not your home.
Really? No. Okay.
Stamford Bridge is a hotel.
We'll see next week when we bury you even further down the table.
Hey, I'm really happy that he's got that kind of chest right now. Big up, Mr. Happy.
Yeah.
He wants to take him.
Hold on to that. Remember, both of Chelsea's losses this season were to Man City and to Liverpool. Meanwhile, you guys lost to some Cherries and Newcastle, who we just beat. Beating Newcastle isn't for everyone, but whatever, Mr. Happy.
Yeah, but if you follow the Chelsea trend, that means you're going to lose to Arsenal as well. Because you lost to the two title rivals, right?
Trends are meant to be broken.
Possibly. You never know.
Eras come to an end, and all that.
I want Marshall to just deep something. You're the reason that Eddie Nketiah has a professional career. I hope you know this.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea fans are unaware of this. You guys are the reason why Eddie Nketiah signed the contract, bro. Like he signed the contract, got an extension, and got to move to a big club just because of you, bro. You know, so just keep that in mind when he scored the winner at the bridge. So
good for him.
Big
We're
up to you,
charitable sometimes.
Big up to Mr. Happy Luke. Make sure you guys are listening to him and liking and subscribing. Ads, Emeka, Todd Miller. Big up to all of you guys. And moving on to the second victim of today's stream, Manchester City. As you guys can see, Vator's shamelessness knows no bounds. He thought he was going to escape this by trying to be nice to Martin and shit. We know your games. You cannot fool us. You cannot fool me specifically because I know you too well to play this game around me, you fraud. Vator, Manchester City, brother. What the hell? What's going on?
Pep out.
Pep out.
How long do you give him before you?
If you ever hear me say Pep out, it's AI generated. All right? Let's believe that. What happened? First, unlike some others, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Bournemouth. I got to give a lot of credit to them. They were set up perfectly, especially early in that game. I don't know if you guys have been watching City games. What am I saying? Of course you guys have been watching City games. We are always vulnerable early in games. We are always vulnerable early in games. We've dropped like a minute in, 5 minutes in, 7 minutes in. They knew to try and catch us early. And honestly, we could have been down 2-0 early in that game. All right? Hey, a lot try to disagree, but I think we have the best duo in terms of keepers in the league with Ederson and Ortega. Ederson came up big those goals because they weren't his fault. Defensively, those guys let him down, but he was putting in some really, really big saves. Are we vulnerable? Of course. We've been vulnerable. There's a reason why Grigs, there's a reason why Martin, there's a reason why Hussam's always like, these guys can get at. They're not looking that good. You guys are sneaking by with some of these wins. And you guys are right. It caught up to us. Now, I still had believed that we were going to tie this game. As late as it was, I still was like, "Ooh, we're gonna have a shocker here. We're gonna annoy a lot of these rivals because we're gonna draw this up late." But we didn't.
You did have a shocker. But.
Shocker of a game. Now let me break this down. Let me break this down. We're missing a few players. Are any of you guys gonna sympathize? No.
No. Bournemouth are missing Solanke.
Oh,
the best player. What are you talking
about? I'm not expecting you to. Because
that's sympathy for you? That's my sympathy.
I don't expect you guys to. And to be honest with you, we should have won this game. We should have at least drawn this game with the players that we had. We should have been able to do it. I don't know what Pep's going to do. I honestly don't know what Pep's going to do to turn this around. Because this is now 2 losses on the bounce, right? We crashed out of the League Cup. We gave hope to the reason why Marshall's so big. I mean,
why is that?
Marshall, do me a quick favor. Play that soundboard effect again.
What's up?
Oh,
what are you doing?
That's such a shit team, Vator.
Oh my god!
Honestly,
I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty shit team.
Yeah, that is a shitty team right there, Vator.
Yo, that
How
first-
on earth were you expected to beat Travers, Smith, Zabarnia, Senesi, Kirkett,
Yeah.
Christie, Cook, Kluivert,
Evanilson, they
Tavernier,
lost to
the other
Evanilson.
Tavernier as
Hold on.
well?
Evanilson's not even a real Brazilian.
Wow. That's so,
Yeah,
that's
let's not
scary
disrespect Bournemouth
Bournemouth
here.
right there.
Let's not disrespect
Greg,
Bournemouth.
Griggs, don't give him the out.
Why
they
are
have
they
scary
good
Bournemouth.
in Bournemouth?
They
Nah, they're a
have
good
a
team.
all the time.
Yo,
Bournemouth are
Iraola
very
is a
good.
good manager.
Martin,
That's
Martin,
not-
come on.
manager.
Martin, remind these guys how good Bournemouth are, please.
Well, we had what was it, 11 men after 10?
They had
after
10 men.
9
Did you have
Is
10
that
men,
what we're
brother?
gonna do now? Is this
Don't
what we're
use the
trying to
10-man
do?
excuse.
Arsenal would have lost that game with
Yeah.
11 men, with 10 men, with 12
Yeah,
men.
but Vator
Listen,
can
beating
act like
Bournemouth isn't
Bournemouth,
for everyone.
Barcelona. I ain't having this.
Marshall,
But Vator,
Alright,
what this is
stadium within the skin of your
won't
life.
be able
You
We
ain't
still
take
beat
that
'em, though.
stadium. You went to war.
But
and
Griggs,
you were-
you know what the difference is between my team beating Bournemouth versus City losing to them? It took 79 minutes for City to have a shot on target. That's the difference. We were on them the whole time. But
So
that's
that's where I want to question. That's where I'm questioning. I don't know where Pep's going to figure it out because Hussam put the players on the screen, right? The players by name, yes, we should be beating Bournemouth, easy. But I'm not expecting you guys to understand this. And this is when I'm talking to my City fans. City fans in the chat, listen. Yes, we had those names on the screen. Yes, we had those names on the pitch. But we know Walker's coming back from injury. You saw him running. That was not Walker. That was not Walker running at his pace.
No, that's Walker being ready to hang it up.
Yeah. Vader, you have to put a couple old dogs down. You have to put Gundogan down, and you have to put Kyle Walker down.
They called me crazy for not
Watch.
looking Gundogan.
You're doing what's
Griggs
It's like, you just gotta.
No,
I don't know what it is. I
No,
don't know
no.
what it is. Maybe
What
because
you
I'm
guys are
Canadian.
doing, you're doing what the
You guys
old Man
let
United
Martin
used to do.
talk and break down his club, break down what he saw. You guys let him speak. I get 2 sentences out, and you guys are jumping in. I'll get to all
Yes,
that.
because Martin did not waffle. Martin came here, said we were
Are you
shit.
talking to me
I
about
woke
Kyle
up
Walker's
early in the
injury
morning
that-
and we played
No,
like
no,
crap.
you're talking to me about Kyle
The
Walker's
transfer
injury
window
that
was
he hasn't been
shit.
back
We're
for a whole year
dreadful.
now.
That's what Martin said. You start off by talking about players that you have missed where not a single Bournemouth player starts for your team. Stop. Stop this waffle.
Actually, yo,
Griggs,
Semenyo
I
might
get
start for
you
Man
can
City
say
right
one,
now.
but it doesn't remove the point, okay? 10 City players start in a combined 11. Happy now? The point is,
And you know what's
you are the same fan base, and I'm including you, Vator. You say Ederson's better than Alisson. You put Kyle Walker in all-time 11s when it comes to Premier
I'm
League.
healthy.
Guardiola is the best left back in the league. Akanji is the best centre back City have. We stole Ake from Bournemouth, given how much money we paid. Talk about the way that we recruit players. Phil Foden is clear of Saka and Palmer. He's the best player in the league. Erling Haaland's the best striker in the league. Gundogan, you guys wrote letters to bring him back. Bernardo Silva is always the unsung hero. Matheus Nunes is so good this season. He's been one of our better players. Kovacic, team of the season candidate. And now you're doing a Hamza, giving me excuses about injuries against fucking Bournemouth. Have some shame.
You see, this is the problem. You didn't even let me speak. Griggs was chiming in. Martin was chiming in. You're trying to claim that I'm doing a Hamza. No, I'm just giving you what happened going into this game, and I'll give you my take. I'll honestly give you my take. No shamelessness, no agendas. Right now, when you guys look at Walker, you can say that he's old, he's done. I'm telling you, he's not healthy. We had to play him because we needed to have him on the pitch. You guys will say, "Oh, you put Rico Lewis out there." Rico wasn't ready to play this game. That's why he was subbed on. I had KDB on the bench. You say if he's on the bench, he can play. KDB was there as a body. He was not there to play. If he was, trust me, guys, if KDB was able to play, he's on the pitch. So let's stop this, please. Let's relax. Now, we should have beaten Bournemouth. We should have at least draw the game. All right? Now, what Pep does moving forward, I have no idea. Because we had enough to win. We didn't show enough creativity or how to break down Bournemouth, and we weren't creating the opportunities. Yes, okay, Holland got a few. He put it on target. Keeper made a save. He put one wide. Foden had a clear chance. Should have put it on target. That's all cool. I don't know what Pep's going to do more to make it unlock. I did like seeing Jeremy Doku get on that pitch. I did like the chances that he created. So the opportunity's there. Now, am I calm? You know why I'm calm? I get rattled only when I hear you guys keep interrupting me and throwing your agendas out. But I'm really calm. I'm calm because it's behind me, guys. These things happen because my club, my manager, my fan base know how to deal with these pressures. I'm only a point off of what I did last year. as bad as I look, as leaky as the goals have been, I'm a point off. And you know who was top of the league last year, 10 games in?
Spurs.
George. So there's going to be a level set. A first time last year. Hold on. Let me get this out. Last year, first time manager in the league, top of the league after 10 games. We've seen this before. There's a reason why Hussam is not saying he's winning the league. There's a reason why Hussam keeps saying his favorites are Arsenal. So I'm chill. I know where this is going. Everyone's going to come back to the norm. It's going to be City and whoever wants to step up. It's going to be City and Liverpool, or it's going to be City and Arsenal. But I'm calm. Pep, figure this out. We only have so many games where we can afford to drop points.
You know the problem with what you said is, at the end, you might have said we should have won, we should have done this. But at the start, you came on load with, like they said, 115 excuses. Oh, if Kevin De Bruyne was here, we would have. Oh, if we had this injury, we would have. And you also said, we have the best number 2 in the league. That was the first thing you come out and said. Yeah. Stefan Ortega is so amazing. Where was Stefan Ortega today? You didn't see, they scored 2 goals. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and blame. I'm not blaming the game on him. I'm not blaming the game on him. But all this, I have the best this, I have the best that, didn't stop you guys from
Vator got spun.
As you said, in the week, you rested players for Spurs. Pep had the cheek to say, I don't have the squad to play. I need to play the academy boys. And then he started quite a few of these players. He played. He started a few of them. Then all the academy boys started coming. They said, "Oh, he's throwing the game. He's throwing the game so he can focus on the big game on the weekend."
That's where you got it wrong, George. That's where you got it wrong.
That's where you got it wrong. Haaland's laughing on the bench in the 90th minute, thinking, "I've got Bournemouth on the weekend." Then what happens? The arrogance hits you.
Stay humble, eh? Stay humble. Ever since he said "stay humble," he scored 1 goal.
He did. He took that seriously. I'm going to stay humble. Let's go.
And by the way, for all the Norwegian people who watch us, they'll confirm this. Sorloth is a better striker for Norway than Erling Haaland. People don't know this. Alexander Sorloth performs better for Norway than Erling Haaland does. Haaland is very good to score 5 goals against Latvia. When they need them against Spain, ghost. Insert Casper this ghost here. You get me? This is just how it goes, my bro. Like, this is just the reality. Erling Haaland is a fantastic flat track bully. Ipswich, he's gonna score 5. And we're all gonna sit up here and say he's better than this guy and better than that guy. But where are you when you need them? Today, he missed a tap-in, eh? Where was Haaland today, eh? That's the question. Where was he, eh? He missed a tap-in, eh?
I know where this hatred.
Where was the guy that won the Premier League Player of the Season last year, Sir Philip Walter Foden? Where was he on the football pitch? Can you explain that?
The reason why Hussam is so mad and keeps wanting to bring up incidents like poor games versus Haaland is because he erased his man from the record books. He hates on Haaland and he wants to bring up international play because with regards to the league, he got Salah's record. He said, Salah, your name, scratch that out. My name's on it. And you know what? I won this goal-scoring record for the season with trophies, not just empty calories. Now, with regards to Phil Foden, I need Phil Foden to show up. I need Phil Foden.
Did he just say Mo Salah empty calories?
When he won the goal,
Mo Salah literally won everything there is to win in football.
No. At the time when he won the goal-scoring record, it was empty calories because you guys didn't win anything. When Haaland did it, it was for trouble. But I'm going to point out, when it comes down to Phil Foden, I need him to step up like he did last year. I need the player of the season. I need him to be carrying my team when I didn't have KDB and I didn't have Haaland for 2 months. I need that Foden back. I need him because I got no Oscar Bob. I got no KDB right now. And you guys all mentioned Gundogan. He doesn't have the legs. And we didn't expect him to play every game. I didn't expect Gundogan to come back playing the 6. I expected Gundogan to come back playing an advanced 8 every other game. Not like this. And when Pep brought up the resting players, Jordz, listen, this is where you got it wrong. It wasn't to rest up versus Bournemouth. It's to know I can't put too many kilometers on all of these players' legs because I don't have them. I need them for this season. And if I'm going to drop points, let me drop it in the league and not in a cup run. So, guys, take your shots. Crash it on me. Say that City don't look good.
You can say that, Vator.
Let me hear it. Who's winning the league?
No, but Vator, I'm just going to say,
the guy top left.
Pep was scared. Pep
never
was
say it.
scared. You know, he doesn't
I'm not
like
involved.
the trip to
I'm
our
the
stadium,
underdog.
and 6 losses in 8 games says that he didn't want to take the risk on being embarrassed again. That's what it was. But yeah, that's what
Vator, okay, you
No.
said before that you were relaxed, right? You were relaxed. There's nothing to worry about. Is that because you don't need to win the Premier League again? There's no pressure. You're not in the race this year. You've won it so many times you don't care, or does it mean like everything will be fine? You're going to turn around and win the season.
Part of it, part of why I'm relaxed is because I have trust in my ownership. Part of why I'm relaxed is because I know maybe it doesn't
Doing
happen
background
this
songs.
season. Oh, did it change? Oh, damn. Sorry. Damn, I didn't mean to do that, but I'll leave it. The reason why I'm confident with how my season's going to go is because I know the ownership, I know the board are going to figure out whether Pep has enough or whether we need to go in the transfer window. I already have an Argentinian advanced 8, more like a 10 coming in. We got that business done, and I don't want to butcher his name. Echeverri, I think is how it's pronounced. We got a player coming in. Whether we go and get a 6, I don't know. But I'm calm because I don't know if Arsenal are going to go in the January transfer window. I don't know if Liverpool are going to go in the January transfer window. So it's the bodies that we have to get it done. Am I relying on past success? No, I'm relying on kind of like past results. I'm relying on, I know what you guys tend to do and what we tend to do. So I'm calm. I'm calm for now. A couple more losses, that might change, but I'm calm for now. That's all I got to say.
Brighton's going to beat you next week.
I'm gonna take my bias out the way. Obviously, I don't like Man City. I do think that you guys are the weakest you've been in a very long time, and it's not because like Pep's declines like that. You have a big injury crisis, and you haven't had the squad numbers in a very long time. It's not like it's 2018 and you have 20 like superstars on the team like you used to have, where your bench was like pretty much the second best team in the league. You don't have that no more. You haven't had it in a long time, even though people keep using that narrative. Gundogan, like this is the thing with Gundogan. They say never reunite with your ex. And this is another point. Just never reunite with your ex. Just don't bring Gundogan back. Kyle Walker, I've told you this for a long time. I know he won right back. He was the right back in the Euro 11, all that kind of stuff, which was fraudulent. He hasn't been good in a very long time. Yes, he's still quick and stuff like that, but his reading of the game has actually deteriorated. When usually as you get older, your IQ gets higher. His IQ feels like he gets lower because he can't use the recovery pace that he once had as effectively still. And obviously, you're missing Rodri, and he is the Ballon d'Or winner. He is one of the most important players in the world. And for me, he should have been the player of the year last year. I don't think it was Walter Foden. I don't think it was Phil Foden's trophy to win.
Agreed.
I think it should have been Rodri's. And now you look at Phil Foden. First of all, on Haaland, I think no KDB really hurts Haaland. And it's not really
It usually
Haaland's
does.
because he's the type of striker that requires service, and he also makes so many intelligent runs that sometimes a typical midfielder can't pick out. And obviously, KDB is not your typical midfielder. He's a robot, and he could find those passes. A Gundogan can't find those passes all the time. Kovacic definitely can't find those passes. Bernardo Silva is not that kind of midfielder. He's kind of like your ball carrier. So you don't have that killer in the final third that's able to find your robot up top. And for me, Phil Foden is not that kind of forward either. He's not really that. He'll always find the killer pass. So you're lacking a lot of stuff. And I look at this title race. I think Arsenal are the title race already. I think they're going through a crisis right now.
Already?
I think they're going through an identity crisis right now. And I think what is it? What are they, like 5 points behind City? Even though City are not as strong, and even though City are struggling, I'll always back Pep Guardiola to figure out his crisis, as opposed to Arteta to figure out his crisis. And then I look at obviously
Pep's coming to the end a little bit more of his way of football being as effective as it used to be. Like, I feel like he hasn't got a plan B more than anyone else hasn't got a plan B. It's like it's plan A or plan A.
Yeah.
No, I think Pep has a plan B. I think I've seen Pep play pragmatic before. He did it, I think, was it 2021, the first year of the 4P, where he was starting to play. He started to play with Fernandinho and Rodri a couple as a pivot more times to kind of like stop leaking the goals.
He played defensive at Anfield. I'll never forget.
Yeah, and the thing is, the difference between you and Arsenal and City, if City wanted to play on a transition, they have a guy up top that's the best transition striker in the world, and he'll just feed goals off that. They have the X factor. And another reason why I say Liverpool should really be considered in this title race is because
100%.
I look at 3 teams, right? I don't think any three of them are like elite. Like I don't think City are as elite as they maybe were a couple years ago when they won the treble. I don't think Arsenal elite. I definitely don't think Liverpool are elite. So then it comes down to obviously coach, which City have the major advantage, and then it's the players, the X factor. Liverpool and City have 2 players each that will go win them the match. Hassam has Mohamed Salah, who will win the match by himself at any given moment. He has a Trent that can change the game at a flip of a switch with one pass. Even though sometimes he struggles, he still has that one cross in him. Will be a devastating cross. Vator has KDB and Erling Haaland when KDB comes back. He has that 1-2 punch. So and then I think for me, I think Liverpool, because right now they're the healthiest. Obviously, if that changes, then it's different. But right now, I think they're the healthiest, and I still think their squad is good enough, and they have a lot of X factors. They still have a Luis Diaz, who Arne Slot has been getting a lot better a tune out of. He still has a Darwin Nunez, who Arne Slot is getting a better tune out of than maybe Jurgen Klopp was last year. You have a Cody Gakpo, you have a McAllister. Curtis Jones has been chipping in the last 2 to 3 weeks as well. Ryan Gravenberch. They have a lot of different players. I just don't think Arsenal has those players. And right now, City, because of health, if City were fully healthy, I think they'd be the best team in the league comfortably. But they're not fully healthy. And Rodri's not coming back this season. So you can't be like, when Rodri comes back. He's out for the season. He's not coming back. And KDB has not been healthy for a long time in about the last couple of years. So we don't know what City's going to look like healthy. And the charges are still looming over their head. And
Grigs, let me ask you a genuine question. If you had one choice and one choice only, you could bring a player back now for City if you were a City fan. But I'll ask you from a football perspective. If you are a City fan and you had the choice from now until May, you could bring back one player, guaranteed doesn't get injured in that time. Rodri or KDB, which one are you bringing back?
Rodri. I've seen City win the league without KDB before. I think it's Rodri. I think he defensively, because I think Raiders right, defensively, the transitions, they can get got in the first 10 minutes. And it's not even the first 10 minutes anymore. It feels like it's the whole game at times. Rodri, I don't think he's like the greatest defensive like midfielder, like in terms of like defensively. I think offensively he's more talented, but his reading of the game defensively is so top. And no disrespect to Kovacic, he's not a 6. No disrespect to Gundogan. It's not 2019, 2020 anymore where he was great as a 6. He don't have the legs for that no more. Even though his reading of the Gundogan's reading the game is top, his IQ is out of this world. I'm never going to disrespect him in that, but his legs are gone. They need Rodri, and there's a reason why people called Pep Rodri FC last year, because they couldn't pick up points without Rodri. Early in the year, it was working without Rodri, but it wasn't sustainable. So I'm not going to count him out, because at the end of the day, this is Pep Guardiola, and he warrants that respect that you can never count him out. He deserves that respect. But I think right now, it looks like a team that's weakened, and it's not winning 5 leagues in a row is as unprecedented in this league for a reason. It's very hard. 4 was unprecedented, and every year it seems like the gap from the first to second gets closer and closer and closer. And this year, 100%. The other team looks a lot better. They look better than they did last year in Liverpool, in my opinion. Even though maybe the coach is worse theoretically in Slot compared to Klopp, but your squad, he's getting a bigger fine tune out of your squad than maybe Klopp was. And you also have players that are hungry. Salah is hungry because he knows he doesn't have that much time left in this league. He wants that second for legacy talks. Trent might leave after this
Salah's year. The biggest factor there. Like Haaland on his own can't generate a goal out of nothing. He needs the ball to get to him. Salah can generate a goal out of nothing for himself or someone else. And we saw that today, because I think you could almost make a case that Liverpool were one of the worst teams today as far as their performance was concerned. Like Brighton were, in my opinion, easily on top of that game. It was crazy. So the fact you guys got out of there with a cool 2-1, just testament to Salah standing up and saying, "Hey, we're not going to lose this game, guys. It's at home at Anfield."
And it's fun because we keep going around the point. We can. I know Man City's boring. We can move on to the more entertaining club. So big up to all of you guys in the chat. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are subscribing. We are closing in on 300 likes. We still have 800 people locked in. I appreciate and love every single one of you guys for the love. So, Grigs has been scooting around the point, stuff like that. Martin has been going around it. But I'm going to start with Jordz for this one. Even though I'm the Liverpool rep, everyone already knows my opinion on Liverpool. They've watched the pre-records and stuff. So I'm going to start with you. Tell me your thoughts on the Brighton game today.
Yeah, do you know what? Like you guys said, I tuned into that one. That was my choice for the 3 p.m. kickoffs. And Brighton were playing some good football, man. Like I feel like Brighton, they started off well. We know that they rested some of their players in the midweek game with you because they tried to go all in on this one. Took an early lead. No surprise there. Brighton do come at teams, and I feel like tactically, that manager's really talented. I think he's going to be one that Brighton maybe keep for a lot longer than they have with De Zerbi and Potter, because tactically in the games, I've seen them make adjustments, and he tends to think on his feet pretty quickly. So even when you guys did go 2-0 up at that point, 2-1 up, sorry, they were still playing some good football, still creating some good chances, still opening you guys up. So credit to them. But I think Liverpool just done what Liverpool have done and been known for doing in the past 6 or 7 years, sort of under the Klopp era, that, mentality monsters. It's like a thing. As soon as they get that first goal, it's siege mentality. They get the second one instantly. And I feel like they do this all the time. Once it got to 1-1, I feel like Liverpool fans probably knew it themselves. I did watching this, just like, we know when's the second one going to come? We know it's coming now. Like, the teams instantly start to break down. And the way Salah, like you said, Salah can create something from nothing. You just got to praise him. And that was very reminiscent of that goal he scored against Chelsea when he cut in and he banged it in the top bins. It was a banger. You've got to give it to him to still be doing it again. And this is his 7th or 8th Premier League year, putting the ball in the top bins like that in his 31, 32, still banging goals. You've just got to credit the guy. You really have just got to credit the guy. Getting another big win for Liverpool. And although Liverpool do look a bit shaky at the back, like I think most teams do at the moment, I think everyone's sort of, I don't feel like defensively many teams have looked really strong this year, from the top sides anyway. They have the firepower in the front line to be able to always score more than the other teams. When you talk about going machine for machine with a team, that's the one thing Liverpool most definitely can do. So that's what happened today. They got the win against Brighton, and I don't think people should be surprised, man. This is what they do.
I mean, Hussam, you were telling me Brighton tax, right? It didn't look too easy in the first half, but banter aside, you guys showed Arne Slot, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing at that helm, and he came out the second half and changed the tide of the game completely. Although Brighton did look spectacular at times, and they could have scored a lot more. Kelleher saved you on a 1v1, and then there was other moments too that I'm looking at Jorginho, I'm looking at the other their right winger or Mitoma. I'm just thinking, oh my god, if you had better quality.
A Yari guy? Is it a Yari? I think
I forget his
Ayari,
name.
yeah, Ayari. He was so good in midfield. He was.
And he's just that guy they bought for 2 years ago for like 10 million, whatever.
Yeah. And that's what Brighton always do. They get these young, these unknown talents, and they develop them, and you're seeing them on the pitch, and they're pretty decent players. So they did show a lot of gusto today, but again, I knew going into the second half, like, surely Liverpool are going to make a comeback, and they did. And we talk about Salah, we talk about Trent, and I think a big testament to Arne Slot, and something that I think was somewhat of a difference maker today. I can't believe I'm saying it, and we'll see how consistent it stays. But Darwin Núñez was really good today, really, really good today. Don't do that, Vator. If it wasn't for Darwin Núñez's head flicks to Salah's not 1v1 for the goal. Or wait, no, he missed that. I'm sorry. But regardless, there was chances that Darwin Núñez was a part of. And Hussam, you could tell me, because I didn't get to see the replay. But who was it? Was it Gakpo, or who was it from the left? Curtis Jones. It was Gakpo. Crosses it in, and Darwin Núñez knows where the goal is, and he kind of ducks his head, and it just goes in goal. Like, just the player's there. Like there's a good player there, but it's now finding like, I can't believe I'm saying it, because last season we're talking about how Darwin Núñez is going to leave Liverpool. Like, we have to figure out what to do with him. He's not, like, we got to get rid of him and stuff. And Arne Slot's seeming to find a way to use him, and he's impacting the game. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this about Darwin Núñez, and Vader's laughing at me, but it's true.
He's a chaos merchant. He's just not necessarily playing.
When he plays off instinct, I think he's really good. When he just plays off natural instinct, he's a really good striker, and I think he causes a lot of problems. It's just when you give him a lot of time to think, that's when he starts doing the crazy stuff, and you start seeing him doing something.
But that's actually an insult. That's not a good thing, because if everybody has to think, he's shit. That's a bad thing, bro.
It's just the truth.
That's a bad thing. Like, it's hey, he has to think he's crap. Like, that's not very motivational for like a player.
Yeah.
But listen, I think today's game, it just shows the importance of world-class players who can win you games by themselves. And it just showed. I think second half though it was slot tactics. Like he fully turned the game around. He inverted Trent to midfield, gave us an extra midfielder, which allowed us to control the game a bit more. And after that, we were just bombarding the shit out of the Brighton goal. The Gakpo goal came. It was a little bit lucky, but it was a goal regardless. And then after that, what can I say, man? Listen, Jordz knows how much I had Salah discussions like every day, bro. Every day on Spaces, based on ability. This guy is this and this guy. I'm like, bro. You know, there were people 2 years ago comparing him to Theo Walcott, bro. Like, I don't know how bad I fought for this guy right here. And listen, he's a difference maker. I have no doubt in my mind that Mo's an absolute difference maker, 100%, and he made the difference again today. Trent is on it defensively, specifically second half. He fucking just locked the shit out of both wingers at the same time. Look, we're having a great run, but I stick by my opinion. We're the underdog for this title race. You know, it's the underdog. I'm currently the leopard in the tree. That's where I am. The tiger and the lion are fighting. I'm just the leopard in the tree. If they kill each other, and then I can go get the gazelle, I'm gonna go get the gazelle. You get me? But as of this very second,
I'm the elephant in the tree, so.
Listen, no, because you're not on the tree. I'm on the tree now.
You're in the tree. Okay.
So I'm in the leopard on the tree. You get me? And these
ground.
two are fighting each other. So I'm just you get me? I'm just relaxed. I'm taking it game by game. I understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is what I understand about this title race, because I've seen it. How many times for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years? I've seen it a lot. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
This is
a marathon. This is not a sprint.
I'm looking.
This is about March. This is not about November.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fixture right now, and you still have a tough run. You have Leverkusen next, and then Aston Villa in the league. You got international break. Sure, Southampton. I'm sure you'll get a result, and then there's Real Madrid, Man City, and Newcastle at Newcastle, which is a tough one.
Hold on. Are we giving the most decorated English club the underdog? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
What, Vator? I agree with you on that.
You do with your club.
I agree with you on that. No, I agree with Vator on that. They want to be top dog in this country. Act like
the most.
No, you think you're top dog in the country? You're 14th. How about you act like it?
They get rid of Den Haag. You're like, we're back.
But if I was
how about you act like you're a big friend? We're talking about act like.
No. If I was in your position, though,
10 years
if I was
ago,
in
I
a
didn't
title
know who
race,
Brentford was.
if I was in your position and I was top 2 right now, I know if I was top of the table, I'd be speaking with a lot more.
But you
chance
know what?
because
We have to be honest with,
I do consider myself the biggest club in the country. Right now, we're not playing like one.
No,
we're not playing like one, but that's different. The standards, the expectations.
The thing is, though, I rate Hussam for the way that he's thinking, because at the start of the season, the story was very different from all you fans. Man United fans thought we were finishing 3rd and 4th. But now it's, no, Ten Hag's gone now, the season's finished. We don't care about this season. We don't care. Season's done. We don't care no more.
Season's not done.
But it's top 4. All I'm hearing my United fans say, oh yeah, we just need a good cup run. If we can win Europa League, then we're back. It's fine. Which is again absolutely clueless. You've got 1 win in 12 European games. You're not going nowhere in a European competition. The squad is the exact same. The manager can change anything, but we need to come back down to.
Sure about that? Well, no. We sure a manager can't change everything, because a manager can change a lot of things in world football.
Not that quick. Not your team. Not the problems.
No. I saw Aston Villa go from 19th to 8th in a single season because Unai Emery walked through those doors. I remember in November. Guess what? It's November. So a manager can walk in and do a lot of things.
I
remember Eddie Howe took over a Newcastle team in December that had 0 wins on the season, and they still finished top half 4 months later.
I get how it is. You're dealing with that's copium right now. This is heavy copium. You've been looking at the case studies, of other teams of how they've done it, but Man United. You've had Van Gaal. You've had Mourinho. Who else you had?
About United.
I don't care what happened 10 years ago, bro. 10 years ago, Leicester won a league title. They've been relegated since. I don't care what happened 10 years ago. In 2024,
why are you letting Hussam just skate on this one? No, it's about Liverpool, not about United, not about past glory.
Yeah, speaking of Hussam, act like the biggest club in the league since you claim to be that with the most.
And you know what's funny, Vator?
Your title favorite.
And I know what's funny, Vator? Sometimes I don't even have to say anything. Sometimes the super chatter cooks you. I don't even have to read this. Here, indulge, brother. Go ahead. Yeah, put your hands up. Yeah, you're guilty. Why are you putting your hands up?
Vator.
against
That's the owner. Yo, that's the owner.
This guy has a
the
picture of John W. Henry behind him, and he's like, "Show some chest, Hussam. Are you
Exactly.
okay?" You realize you just
wait,
rebutted your own point.
Wait. Don't disrespect these owners. Don't disrespect this owner.
Thank you, Omar.
That has brought you your drought. That ended the drought of winning the league. It's due to him. It's due to him and his appointment of Klopp. It's due to him and his scouting. So you want to pick and choose when you want to praise and who you want to praise. But because of him is why this 30 years without winning the league was done. Show some respect.
Show some respect to FSG. Exactly.
Come on.
And the thing is, you're smirking like, you know, when you know, back in school when we were like in grade 6 and they used to ask who threw the pen and everyone just sat there smirking. Like that's you right now. You're the kid in the back.
But he does have a point. Like, what does it take?
Trying to smirk like, oh, FSGs that we have less net spend than Spurs. Have some shame.
These are the most efficient owners.
The only reason why we're in this place is Mo and Virgil and players like that who we bought fucking 8 years ago.
Who hired the guy that brought Mohamed Salah? Who hired the guy?
FSG hired the guy, but that's besides the point.
It could be a lot worse.
I've given them praise where it's due, but most of the time it's lack of ambition and negligence.
FSG got the reason that you're going to
I only give the analogy that people just don't get. We've been to the top of the mountain, okay? So there's a difference between Liverpool and Arsenal. Arsenal are trying to climb the mountain. We already climbed it. Imagine 4 years ago, I was doing a stream with you guys, and an Arsenal fan told me I'm going to finish above you in the league twice. What would my reaction have been? I'd have laughed in their face when they were in 8th place. But the reason why Martin has managed to sneak into this conversation, and the reason why 4 years later, after winning a league title, I've got 0 league titles to show in 4 years, is because of the lack of ambition and the negligence. We can talk about what happened. Vator, you're doing the shamelessness. I'm responding now. We can talk about what happened to 4 years ago. This is different now because I've been pushed down the hill. And now, when I was looking down at the Arsenal peasants, Jordz remembers from Spaces days, I was little broing them. When I was looking down at the Chelsea peasants, I was looking down at everyone. Suddenly, everyone's looking at me like, yo, I'm next to you in the hill now. And the reason is John W. Henry. That's the reason. Lack of investment, lack of spend.
That's also called all the
factors. At the end of the day, there's 100 different factors. But in science, and I'm a chemical engineer, there's different variables, but there's one independent variable that does not change. And it's the same independent variable that's staring at you right in the face and going like, I don't spend money. This season, right? It's the manager's first ever transfer window. And that's the transfer window where usually clubs spend the most money. And we made a profit.
But aren't they right? You're top of the league. You don't have to spend.
Ask it why. You just said Mo Salah is a difference maker. So, but Grigs, I have to respond point by point because you're pressing me. You said you're top of the league. Correct. When you were talking about Liverpool, who did you say made the difference today? Martin? Mo Salah. When did we buy him? 8 years ago.
So what?
But it's still there.
What does that matter?
Did anyone make a difference like from the ones we bought this summer? Where was Chiesa?
Maybe that's why they're not rushing to go out and get more players. They're doing their homework to get the right players. And also they've realized
the same guy that told me, do you feel sympathy? Because he had 2 players out against Bournemouth. Imagine.
There's a big caveat though. Most managers do not walk into a squad that Arne Slot has walked into. And I'm not using this to discredit him. He walked into a squad that was top of the league in March last year. So it's not some like random squad that's shit. He walked into a great squad. Yes, should you have at least signed 1 player? Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Signing 0 players is absolutely criminal. But let's not act like you needed to spend 300 mil in the summer to improve that much. You maybe needed 1 player, 1 to 2 players max. That's all you needed. You did not need a 300. You did not need to do a Chelsea or United.
10 players either. All I said was 3 in the summer. I said DM, forward, and left back. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, but the transfer windows are
you find a DM without even asking for one. Ryan Gravenberch.
Let me say this real quick.
These players are also playing in the Carabao Cup and shit. That's
apologies. I got to drop, but I want to point this out again for the Americans in the chat, North Americans, obviously on the panel. You guys know this, right? What do players do in a contract year? They play out of their skin. They ball out. And what has FSG done? What have FSG done? Trent? right? Van Dijk, Salah. They found the
8
formula
years
to
ago.
Pardon? No, but they're all contracts are up. They figured out. They've hacked it to get the most out of these players to play for the next
Now
contract.
you're gaslighting. Now you're gaslighting. Come on. Now you're gaslighting.
There's
He is
Possibility.
gaslighting.
That's all I want to say.
You're the biggest gaslighter. Stop it. So you're gaslighting.
You guys don't want to hear it.
The guys, Vator Games is in the description. He has to drop out now.
Yeah,
Thank
Vator.
God. He's gaslighting.
Yo,
Big up to you, Vator.
yeah, letting
I'm
your
just
letting your three best players all have the final year of their contract at the same time is not good business. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. We don't know. FSG might be ahead of the curve with something on this one.
No, they're
but
not.
I gotta drop
Trust me,
it.
they're not. Trust me, they're not.
Respect.
I know the team. I know the team they own in. I know the team they own in baseball. They didn't want to pay him.
Yep, and the Red
Traded
Sox
him.
fans want them out.
So, but anyway,
Exactly.
nah. Back to
I've done my
Liverpool, though.
research.
I said,
Vator
the
Games
fact
is
that
in
the
the
fact that you're trying to act like an underdog when you have the healthiest team in the league.
I am the underdog. Why?
No,
Why?
you're not. You're not the underdog. You're not the
George
underdog. You're not
said it to you spot
I am
on.
the healthiest
In the
team.
summer, I did shows with Grigs where he told me you're gonna drop off. Now there's the club.
I predict, and I was wrong. I was
okay.
no, but it wasn't because of
and
your squad, though.
so you were wrong.
But
And 2 months into the season, you want me to say I'm gonna
but
win the league?
but
What
the
the fuck,
reason
bro?
wasn't because of your squad, though. I never said you're gonna fall off because of your squad. I said I'm gonna predict your fall off because we've never seen a manager take over another legendary manager and maintain those standards in the first season. Maybe in the second year, yeah. But Arne Slot is doing something I haven't seen before. He's somehow actually getting a better tune out of the squad than Jurgen Klopp was. I didn't predict for that. I didn't account for that. I didn't expect him to adapt to the league that well. He is, and you have the squad to win the league. And you have right now, as of right now, you have a coach that is looking like a coach that can go for the league. I'm not saying he's I'm not saying he's a Premier League winning coach yet, but
that this could still, not saying that this is, so please don't think that this is my opinion, but it could be an extended manager bounce. It could be that teams just haven't had the time to figure Arne Slot out. As we saw with Ange Postecoglou after the first 10 games, although you had to caveat it with Tottenham's injuries, the performances didn't improve over the season because teams they sort of had figured out how to play against Tottenham, how to battle this, and it takes a while to evaluate a team, how they're playing, especially under Slot. There's not a lot of changes as there is under Klopp, but there's a few adjustments. There's those few small tactical adjustments that are improving how they defend, and it's making teams harder to break them down. But we've seen in games like Nottingham Forest, like this Brighton first half, that teams can get at them. This Liverpool team is not invincible, so it isn't. I don't think we can look at this team and say, yeah, they're favourites because they haven't had that many challenges so far this season. I still think they've got some games to come up. Come up
favourites by default because City have lost Rodri and have all their injuries and they're looking the way they're looking, and Arsenal have similar kind of issues. And Liverpool are just sailing. I think you have to look at Liverpool and say they're favourites right now, currently, today's date.
Yeah.
Objectively.
How good do you guys think that squad is, though? Let's be honest. That midfield isn't that good.
But Jordz,
I have a question for Sam real quick, Marshall, before you go. We mentioned no Rodri for City. Would you not consider this season a failure if you lose the title to City without Rodri?
No,
for me that's a failure.
No, it's the one. If City win the league, then it's a failure on Arsenal, not us.
Why,
guys, wait. We cannot change the fucking narrative. Okay,
it's a failure for both of you.
This season is a good season for Slot if he gets third place and wins a domestic trophy. That's it. If he wins a Carabao Cup and gets third, fantastic season. I cannot expect Arne Slot to win a league title in his first season as a Premier League manager of Liverpool. That's just so unfair. That expectation was not even labeled on Pep Guardiola himself walking into Manchester City. When he walked into Manchester City and finished third, no one told him you failed. The season after, he won the league.
Arne Slot walked into a better squad than Pep Guardiola walked into when he took over Manchester City. This is a much better squad than that squad.
And no
that squad had no lead.
The squad that Pep walked into a year before that were Premier League champions.
No, they were not. Leicester won the league.
No, I said a year before that.
Chelsea won it. Jose won it.
No, it was City. It was City with Pellegrini.
14. No, that was 13-14. 14-15, Jose won the title. 15-16, Leicester won the title. So it had been 3 years since City won the title.
2 years.
Slot walked into a team that was top of the league until March when you capitulated. You literally capitulated in front of our own eyes last year because you had that league in your hands.
Bro, Pep came in Pep was there in the Leicester year anyway.
No, he was not. He walked in the year
after.
He was.
67. Sorry, he came the year after. So it was 2 years, 2 seasons basically before he won. Before that, they won the league. Slot comes onto a side that 4 years before that won the league. 4 seasons.
Okay, but Pep did not walk into the team that was top of the league until March the year before. Slot walked into that team. He walked into the team that was top of the league in March.
But that's not the measuring stick. Who was top of the league in the March before? That's not the measuring stick.
No, but I'm talking about the level of squad, bro. You have 4.
No, yes. Slot did not. But that's why I'm saying we should challenge. If you say we should challenge, I'll shake your hand right now, 100%. But I cannot say we have to win the league or it's a failure.
I'm not saying
no,
you have to win the league, but would you not? But looking at the circumstances and the context, you have a City that are at their weakest that they have ever been. This is definitely the weakest City I've ever been. You have Arsenal, who are literally going through an identity crisis right now. We don't know what Arsenal is going to show up week in and week out. By default, like Martin mentioned, you have to be looking at that league title right now and be like, we can win it.
I mean,
and yes, obviously, as the season progresses, maybe you fall off a little bit. But right now, on November 2nd, looking at your contenders around you, where Nottingham Forest are closer to you than Arsenal are, Villa are right behind them.
Yeah, we're looking at a league. Can win it. I've never denied that we can win it, but we're talking probabilities here. Like at the end of the day, if you tell me right now in January we're 3 points behind and we go sign Zubimendi and we sign a left back or whatever, I'd go like, okay, yeah, we can win it. I'm with you. But can we win it? As in, like, is it a probability, possibility we're there? Yes. But will we win it? I think no.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to point out.
Our squad depth is not big enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the team that started against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Gakpo started, Diaz started, Curtis Jones started, Szoboszlai started, Robertson started. Those are all players that literally play.
Is City squad depth good? Because it's not.
No, but here's the thing: City squad depth is good because even the team that they played. Even the team that they played against Spurs, we still cooked Hamza because that was a good.
I'm gonna be real.
I think it's better than Liverpool's.
Is City squad depth in midfield and attack better than Liverpool's? Because I don't think it is.
100%.
Yes, it is.
100%.
Now I'm not going to the
because I've been in streams here and I've heard Hussam say if Gravenberch were to fall through injury or McAllister, he admits himself he's fucked.
Yeah, season done basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think if Hussam came into the season with better signings,
Marshall, you said that right? McAllister, if McAllister falls, City had that happen to them right now. City had that to happen.
But here's the thing. Even without Rodri, it took up until this game that just happened today against Bournemouth, which, by the way, is a really banter aside, it is actually a kind of a tough game because they press you so hard. And if they had a Rodri, then it's more controlled, right? But even it took just this game alone for them to finally get a loss in the league. They're still managing to get results without a Rodri. And so they have KDB coming back. They have who else that's injured? I don't know. There's a few other injuries they have as well. That
they acted like there's 500 players injured and they're all on the bench.
Yeah, so it's like they have players coming back from injury that they'll be okay. Like, they won't look convincing, Grigs, but they'll still be able to get some results. That's the thing.
And also, Grigs,
City are going to put
Rodri's out, right? Rodri's out, and his replacement is Kovacic. So if Gravenberch is out, who's his replacement?
Taru Endo.
Oh, Endo's a better 6 than Kovacic.
Stop it. Yeah.
Kovacic is in a 6.
I don't know about that. He's not, but I don't know about that.
Kovacic is not a 6. I am sorry. Kovacic is not a 6, and he's not a good 6.
He can do. I think he can do a better job than Endo, though.
No, he can. Bro, I promise
Some question for you. What happens next weekend if City loses and you win? You're 5 points clear. Are you going to be like favorites then? Is there like a
no, we're the underdog, regardless.
Because you can't get away with this for the whole season because there's no
pressure.
I get where he's coming from, though.
I'll tell you our favorites if we're 15 points above.
15 points.
Jesus Christ.
See what I'm
saying? You guys love this bullshit. You know, Jordz has been smiling this whole time because he knows about me. I'm press resistant. I went through Football Wars training. I've done 1v11 before. So this does not affect me, bro. Like, I know what to say.
I'm not trying to affect you.
And I'm telling you we need to be 15 points above. I'm not exaggerating. If we are 15 points above in February, I'll tell you all right now. I'll message you.
I understand you've gone through PT.
On an individual level. I'll send you all a text message. I'll go like, guys, we're favorites. But as of also, by the way, if you want to go there, our run in the second half of the season is fucked up. Have you ever thought about that? Because we have to go to City away. We have to play Arsenal at Anfield two game weeks before the season ends. We've got to play Brighton away. We've got to play Aston Villa away. We've got to play you at home, which is a rivalry. We've got to play Chelsea away from home. Those are 6 difficult as fuck fixtures that we've got to play at the end of the season. And the issue remains once again, fatigue. Because what's going to happen in March is exactly what happened of March last season when I warned the whole fan base. I told them, guys, everyone's getting too giddy. And then you're going to come tell me in March, everyone's tired. The problem is in the Carabao Cup games and in all the games, we're playing the same people that play in the Prem and the Champs. This is the fucking issue, Grigs. Rotation is not there because we don't have enough squad depth. If we go out there in January, you sign me a centre-back who can play left-back, like a Schlotterbeck as an example, and you sign me as a Zubimendi or a Varela or an Ederson or stuff, I get it, because now you have a real rotation. Meaning you play in the Carabao Cup, it's Jones, Endo, and Elliott, and then you play in the Premier League, it's Zubimendi, it's Gravenberch, it's McAllister, I get you. But as things stand, the depth is not there. Like, that's the reality of the situation. However, are the team performing well right now? 100%. Now, the reason why this is different from Ainge is, and this is no shot at Spurs, this is just reality, Liverpool have world-class players compared to Spurs. The only player I think you can put up on the Spurs team that you could like categorize as world-class is probably Son, and that's the only one that's even around that level. But for us, we've got Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent, and Mo. Those are the 4 players, those are cornerstones. Now, if we can keep them healthy and everyone else around them healthy, fair enough, but we just need players in January, and that's the only way I can tell you that we're favorites. Or for 15 points.
I get the logic too, because if in the beginning of the season Hussam would have come out with chest saying like we're going to win the league, you all would have thought he was deluded because it's Arne Slot's first season. You pass forward 10 weeks and he's in the beginning of the league and you want him to say the same thing. Like I think he's keeping it consistent. If anything,
that's how it works in sports though. Expectations change as it progresses.
I get it, but it's still.
I agree that expectations change, but I'm not going to say I'm favorites because I'm 5 points above City in November.
It's not even because you're 5 points above. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that was Martin's question, though. He said, "What if you win next week and City lose?" Okay, I'm going to be 5 points above
I'm
November.
Talking about I'm looking at the context surrounding you, because you want to talk about depth. City don't have depth, bro, either. It's not 4 years ago when you had that World 11, right? That starting 11 that was so amazing, which was probably the best starting 11 in the world. But you had no bench, right? And City, maybe their 11 was weaker, but they had all these players coming off the bench. It is no longer 2020 City. It is a 2024 City where Pep's backup 10 is James McAtee. That's his backup 10 right now. That squad, he has no backup to Holland. It's full foot is the backup 9 to Holland right now.
Argument? If we had 2020 Liverpool, I'd tell you we'd win the league, but we don't. Because we're all.
It is better than the one it is now. But I'm talking about the depth argument.
Thank you. Yeah.
Your competition has no depth either. That's the
no, but here's the thing about the depth even that we had at the time.
You think City won't be fatigued in March?
But even here's the thing that we were talking about depth. We're talking about depth. Back in the 1920 season, for the forward line, we had Shaqiri and Origi who came in clutch moments, won us games as well. You had the likes in midfield, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, Keita, Ox, who all played significant roles in different parts of the season, despite the fact that some of them aren't as good as the starters. They played roles. And in defense, we had Matip, we had Van Dijk, we had Joe Gomez. We had players who could come in and you know, basically play a role. Right now, the problem is the depth is weak. If we sign players in January, I'll agree with you. But as things stand, I'm not
gonna lie. You're attacking depth right now is better than Shaqiri and Origi.
I think ironically,
because Nunez doesn't play, Jota is better than both Shaqiri and Origi. By the way, Diaz and Gakpo fighting for one spot. They're both better than Shaqiri and Origi. So you have depth in the attack. In the midfield, no, I'm not. No. He has a nice little moments and stuff like that, but he's not a better footballer than Diego Jota. He's not a better.
Nice little moments.
He has a nice moments, and all that kind of stuff. Every dog has his day and stuff like that, right? But at the end of the day, he's not better than Diogo Jota. You know that for a fact. Is Divock Origi a better player than Diogo Jota? You're gonna say that? Say that right now.
No, he isn't. But Jota's injury prone.
There you go. There you go.
See, Hussam, I think you're getting way too easily with this, because the fact that you don't put the expectations on your manager to win means he's more likely to win. The pressure on him is basically zero to win the league, and the longer you skate along with no pressure and the top of the league, the more pissed off I'm going to get, because that's how it got applied to my club.
But here's the thing, Martin. You being pissed off is not my logic for us winning a league title, so you can hold that respectfully. But anyway, on that note, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. 1 hour and 37 minutes into the stream. This has been one hell of a stream. Big up to every single one of you guys for joining us. This has been absolutely enjoyable. Greg Stocks failed the Gegenpress because Hussam is grabbing that press. Is in the description.
You're not, bro. You're not pressured.
Casual FC is in the description. Sad's Football Corner, Vator Games, most shameless human on the planet in the description. Durag Diaries as well is in the description. Go subscribe to every single one of these guys and show them all the love. Big up everyone who showed us love. We're going to be back tomorrow, inshallah, Spurs versus Villa. We're going to be doing Man United versus Chelsea, where me and an enemy become allies against the eternal enemy. And of course, we have Ahwa at night. So love you all, man. This has been one hell of a day. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.